Hey, come catch this wave with the Fixx squad. The Fixx is in. I'm Mr. Soul, I'm tuning in. What you doing?
Got him. Look, real hip-hop revealed that a fix. Pure, you can feel it in the mix. Finally start pushing the culture forward, this is it. Proceed at your own risk. Got him. Beats, bars, and life, giving them truth in it. Screaming revolution when only a few minutes. My sentiments exactly everything that we do clutch. Another reason to turn the volume up. Sheesh, know what we stand on. Solid ground when we land. Say it's no use, the culture is out of hand. But not out of reach, we gotta stick to the plan. Dark days put the sunshine in it. Good news, I'm proof that it's living. Yeah, revolving the art, the shot go with it. Keeping the beats on the block, don't miss it. Welcome.
Tell the city stand up. James left, but the king still reigns here. No tears, no love lost, no rain here. Delivers, I promise, Santa reindeer. Love for the city still resides here. Fix for your ailment, faith that resides outside the lines. Detox your mind, cause it matters. Art outside the box, we paint splatter. The Fixx is in and we rock a chant, or we rock with them for what's deep within. Expose those who talk but don't live. Expose those who talk but don't live. Take offense, judge by the fruit from the tree. But if the fruit tastes like the streets, and money is the fruit that they speak, so tell me whose face do they seek? Repeat, take offense, judge by the fruit from the tree. But if the fruit tastes like the streets, and money is the fruit that they seek, so tell me whose face do they seek? The Fixx is in.
Yes, sir. You're now tuned in to The Fixx, your source of faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. I go by the name of DJ Focus. Squad in here with me. What's up, Rigo?
What's good? How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Always a pleasure to see you, Suave, man.
It's a pleasure to be seen. I'm hungry, though, but yeah.
Yeah. Your boy could use a sandwich, too, as well.
Yeah, you most.
You know what I'm saying?
I think you need a whole feast right now. Your stomach growling like a mug. Boy.
What's good, T? You good?
I am absolutely exhausted, but I am so excited to be here this morning. Trying to find all of the reasons not to complain. So hey, we in here.
That's what's up. Once again, you're tuned into The Fixx, and of course, our mission is to expose the culture to positive but relevant music that keeps Jesus Christ at the center of the message. And of course, y'all know we got another hot show again for y'all today. We got an exclusive interview coming up real soon with pastor, gospel legend, Deitrick Haddon. So definitely keep it locked for that. We got a mind over matter today too as well. Suave, today is what?
Today is World Mental Health Day.
World Mental Health Day.
Yep,
Yeah.
October 10th, definitely.
Yeah. So definitely shed some light. I know Suave will have something for the mind over matter segment, but y'all know how we do it. Let's start the show off like we always do. Tierra with the Street Report. Tierra's tea. What's good?
So I have so much tea for y'all today, but it's definitely going to be focused on what's going on in the minus like 20 days, 25 days. I keep getting my numbers wrong. However, y'all's getting ready to go down. Election day is right around the corner. So this one I really want to kind of talk about. Did y'all check out the debate with my girl Kamala Harris running for VP? She killed it. I love her so much. She gave us all of the Black girl professional, you about to get this work magic. Like the faces, the attitude, I'm gonna stick to my time and you gonna return my time that you took because he went over. So if y'all didn't check out the debate, it was absolutely way more civil than y'all president and his running mate. I'm sorry, not running mate, but Joe Biden. So she hit a lot of good topics, hit a lot of important points on just remaining focused on what the question was. Now, both of them dipped and dodged some of the questions, but she, I think, did a wonderful performance on answering the question, on keeping us focused on what the presidency has failed at for the last 4 years and why it is so important to make sure we go vote. Ohio, listen, because we're in Cleveland, so I got to talk about Ohio early voting. It started October 6th. So you can vote now, people. Do not wait till November 3rd. If you do, fine, sure. Some people just enjoy the tradition of going on November 3rd to vote. But because the stakes are so high in this election and there's so much potential for all type of foolishness, we want you to go and vote early. So how do you do that? Check out voteforyourlife.com. Gives you all sorts of information. Of course, go to your county Board of Elections, wherever you are watching and listening to us this morning. Go early vote. A lot of states are opening up on Monday as well for early vote. So check that out. kind of moving a little bit into some social culture, Tory Lanez finally got charged with the assault on Megan Thee Stallion. Why is this so important? Because they was really getting ready to try to act like that did not happen. And then that kind of just gives us this whole continuing conversation on how Black women, and especially, Black people, period, but we, especially Black women, are not being,
Protect our Black women.
Thank you. Yes, protect our Black women. Because we're not talking enough about that. And it's just ridiculous. Tory Lanez had all this time, because this happened almost like 4 months ago, if not more than that. He's just now being charged with the assault. Like, if that was a white woman. Anyway, so he's finally being charged with the assault of shooting Meg Thee Stallion. And speaking of Meg, her performance was so critical at these past Video Music Awards. She did a whole dedication to Brianna, a whole dedication to just Black women, period, but really focusing on Brianna. And she called out that sucker AD. I was so proud of her. She really took her platform and made a stance. And so, I remember earlier we were kind of talking about her song with Nicki Minaj and how it hurt or did not hurt the community. I'm still up in the air about it, especially because she kind of did a full she did a little turn. She really used her platform again to kind of speak out and speak up about Brianna, and really call out just the kind of foolishness that's going on with the grand jury. And speaking of, y'all, they are really trying it. So homeboy thought he wasn't gonna release all of the videos, but TMZ got him, because they just yesterday actually aired the new footage that dropped from the body cams of the cops who are absolutely responsible for her murder. And so these new videos are really showing that not only were they confused about where they were for at least 20 minutes before they ran up in her house, once they got in there, the footage is just really kind of refuting a lot of the facts that they had in the original case to kind of not charge them as they should have been. So check TMZ out. They have all of the new footage that's kind of been released and been trying to be kept a secret in this case. And it's really giving shedding a new light on just the atrocity of her murder. So it's not over. And this is why Vote for Your Life is such an important slogan right now, because we're not just talking about who is in the office and it's not about political parties and all of the things that are trying to distract us. This is really about our lives, healthcare. It's really about who we put in the Supreme Court. It's about all of these things that are navigating and govern our everyday lives. So please vote. And speaking of voting, last but not least, y'all president done canceled the Miami debate because he does not want to do a virtual debate. So, as y'all know, he supposedly caught corona, supposedly got healed in 3 days, and went back to the White House, took his little mask off, and has been conducting business as usual, endangering hundreds of thousands of lives, holding rallies and carrying on. And he thought Joe Biden was about to be here for it. He's not. They went ahead and canceled the debate because he did not want to do it virtual. So it really speaks to the ignorance and I could go on and on. But that's canceled. So stay tuned for how we're going to kind of navigate the last few debates, if we do them or not. But of course, here on the Fixx, we'll make sure you all stay up to date with what's going on, what they're talking about. And that's the tea in these streets today. I think you muted.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate you. So just getting back on a few of the things you brought up in the tea. I just, definitely want to hear, Rico, what did you think about the debate, both debates?
I did not watch the presidential debate. I was not about to waste my time or kill my brain cells. Because that was like two grumpy old men arguing. Didn't want to watch it. I watched most of the vice presidential debate. She spoke a lot of facts. And every time she will mention a fact, you'll have Vice President Pence always tried to negate her facts
Mhm.
and throw it on Trump. He cared for the people. Oh, but when he started talking about racism in America,
Yeah.
that fly landed on his head. That fly knew that was a bunch of. This is a Christian station, so that fly knew it was landing on some. If you know where flies hover around, y'all know where it was at.
That part.
'Cause-
Especially the comments about Breonna Taylor. The question was specifically, do you think justice was served in Breonna Taylor's case? And you saw Kamala, her body language, everything about how she spoke and shot down. No, like her first line, no, it wasn't. And she really discussed just how white supremacy and racism still very much so exist. And Pence's response was more like, oh no, that's, I respect law enforcement. They did their job. Like, and in a roundabout way, he felt like they were right.
He did the same thing
Justice was
Trump did
served.
when they told him to denounce white supremacy. He did the exact
Exactly.
same thing.
Well, yeah, that's. I'm glad you brought that up because my take too as well was a little different because I feel like they both did a job. So we'll start with, of course, the president and Joe Biden. I feel like they did not answer the questions. I feel like they continued to just give dissertations and run around the answer. And for me, that was quite problematic on both sides. I'm just being honest, if I can be transparent on both sides, because I feel like it was questions that Joe Biden should have answered. He didn't answer. Definitely, of course, the biggest one out of Trump would be racism and white supremacy. Of course, we know that's a big issue. But I just struggle with, like you said, it just seemed like it was a two older guys like duking it out for no reason without really giving an educated answer to the questions. And I was blown back away how to me, I felt like they disrespected the moderators on both sides.
No, them moderators was just trash.
You think they were just
Yeah,
that
the
weak?
moderators were trash.
It was
Okay.
it was Cleveland Public Librarians.
You said Cleveland Public Library. Stop it, man.
You know how the librarians in Cleveland, like they just be like shh, and then that's it. Like man, if you don't go sit down, Miss Jardine, and let me finish doing what I was doing, I'm on this computer. I signed my time. That's what the moderators.
Well, yeah, I feel like definitely, probably could have had some firmer moderators in both cases. But I just feel like I say, they ran away from a couple of questions for me that were really problematic, at least for me. Like I said, for me, and so I'll be honest with you, I'm probably the only one still kind of on the fence because I'm to a place to where like I feel like. And I've said this before, and I know we're a long way from having our own Black political party, but I feel like we should start our own Black political party. I feel like there's bits and pieces at times from both parties that represent exactly kind of like how I feel and what I think our culture needs personally, but I don't know if both of, either party does the job all the time. So, because I have some issues with some of the Democratic plans. I have some issues with the Republican plans too as well. So I don't know. I'm definitely looking to see if they at least have a couple more debates. I kind of figured Trump would, when they first said that Trump didn't want to do the virtual debate, that's not his style. So I wasn't surprised by that. So hopefully he gets well, and we can get back to we're not even 14 days away. How long are we? 14 days? Is it 14 days?
Election is November 3rd.
November 3rd?
Yeah, so we about a good
17. Is it 17 days? Somewhere in there?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so we got a little room to really, navigate through this. But yeah, like I say, I feel like both sides, like I say, ran. And when you talk about where did that flag come from? That threw me for a loop. Like
it was
like how does I feel like that was staged or something. Like
the flag got more attention than the debate did. It got more attention than some of the issues and what the debate was talking about did. And that's my issue with just the country period. I'm like, we have literally made this fly a whole Instagram, Twitter page. Like they done started a fundraiser around this fly. And I'm like, we so slow. And that's how Trump got in office, because we focus on the most insignificant things. So when we talk about some of the answers that each party has dipped and dodged, I try to focus or help folks understand there's a huge difference in what the Republican Party hasn't answered, and a huge difference in what the Democratic candidates haven't answered. So the whole stacking the court thing, it's not important right now, because as far as who is appointed to Supreme Court, that should be, as Biden has said, chosen by the American people, but through who they elect to put in that position, who gets to appoint that person, the president. When we start talking about stacking and changing the rules, if you look over history, which is why I love Kamala so much, you gave that real brief history lesson that was very accurate and on point. If you want to change the rules, it's been done before. So we've done it millions of times. And to try to rush and put somebody in those seats right now, it's just, that's an agenda of making sure that whatever policies you put in place, that person will always agree to the far right. So we stacking the courts and all that. That's not what we're talking about right now. Do we have a right to know to know the president's state of health? Yes. Answer the question. You didn't answer the question. And we can keep going through fact checking. The jobs lost. 11.5 million jobs were produced during the recession of July. 11.6 were lost. And we can see that in their own backyard. And what I like, and I agree with folks. So, both parties got their issues and their downfalls and things that make sense and don't make sense, and you can agree with and don't agree with. But if we sit and do not make a decision, we will get another 4 years of what we have right now. And this, for me, I try to help folks. Look, as far as your everyday local life, your business, your taxes, all of these different things, that is more local government than it is federal anyway. So focus more on your local government when you talk about your day-to-day life. But when we're talking about federal policies, like Roe versus Wade being overturned, that is important. So whether you like Biden or not, vote for the party in this instance that won't do stuff like keep kids in the gates at Walmart in California, that won't actively tell right-wing nutheads to capture governors, right? And how blatantly not shoot down white supremacy on the national level. So we're not, this election in my opinion, for the first time since the 60s, is not about who party you agree with more, in the sense of policies and things immediately. This is literally about, is it okay to have a president that the world makes fun of? They had a special showing all of the major leaders from Canada, Europe, and all these different places mocking the president. And these are people we had allies, like we were allied with. And why is that important? When you're talking about world wars and national disasters and needing help from other countries, but they laugh at your president, like that's a problem. So at least have somebody in office articulate enough, poised enough to have good relationships with foreign policy. Because this stuff comes full circle when we're talking about trade. Since your weave went up at the store because our trade with China is not going well. Cars and parts and things like, so, what does that got to do with me? Well, your cell phone is $10,000 because the trade agreement didn't work. Very everyday, how can I make this apply to me things? So, man, this is probably, I know we say it every election, but no, legit, probably the most important election of our lifetime, because this is the difference between a man not shooting down white supremacy on a national level and govern over you versus a man that at minimum is poised enough to be able to kind of redo and help and fix some of this economy that this food and messed up and etc. But I'm off my soapbox.
No, you're good, and I appreciate your perspective, and I think that's the beautiful thing about it. I definitely love what you said when you say, as a culture, we need to educate ourselves, because I agree. I think a lot of us as a culture don't do our due diligence to understand how politics work, and also too as well, at least for me personally, something that I've been kind of stressing just within my circle, people I come and interact with. As a culture, we need to do better in building ourselves up and doing things that we know we need to do. I think at times we put too much, we depend too much on the government. That's just my personal opinion. I feel like we depend on them for resources that I believe we already currently have. I believe at times as a culture, we don't unify enough and come together enough and put our resources together enough and really take back our power. We talk about Black Wall Street and we talk about, everything that happened, like those days can't come back. Like we can't create those days. We talk about the power of Black Panther. The whole storyline of just Black unity, a whole community of, Black people just thriving, and we have things that look like that here. Don't get me twisted. Atlanta's like thriving with a lot of Black businesses. The Washington and the DC area is, thriving with a lot of Black businesses. But I just feel like we don't unify enough. I think we put too much, we depend too much on the government instead of us unifying, coming together. And also, at least for me personally, getting our house in order. I think it's some things within our culture that, when you talk about educating yourself, when you talk about, definitely parenting and raising kids right and doing the things we need to do on our side that the government has no control over. So, that's just my personal opinion on. I think we need to do some self-care too as well. And sometimes I think that doesn't get talked about in our culture of things that we need to hold ourselves accountable for changing and changing some of these stereotypes. Because some of these stereotypes are stereotypes because we continue to make them stereotypes. For some of us, I'm not saying all, this is not a generalized thing to everybody, but I do know, and we know we all got family and friends and some friends who, are still trying to figure things out. Let's figure things out a little bit more quicker than what we've been doing and stop, blaming the government to a certain extent for certain things. Now, racism and stuff like that, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm not negating that. That's a very important thing we need to address. I don't know if we'll ever get there. I'm just being honest because I believe racism.
We got to put the right people in the right seats.
Yeah, that's true. And like you said, on the local levels, like you said, it's funny. My wife said something to me the other day. She was like, have you ever just, within people, and just being honest, and within our culture, say, have you ever just asked people, who's your local governor? Who's your local mayor? I say, no, I haven't. She's like, just ask within your circle and see how many people know who's even in offices currently right now compared to even who we're even voting for. I say, and that's problematic. I think we control that. That's us as a culture needing to educate ourselves in those areas. So yeah, definitely, definitely some self-assessment, and I take responsibility for that too as well. I think for me, when you talk about the most important election, this was for me in my household just because we really have up until now, this is probably the first election like we really dove in to all the facts. We really were researching everything that both parties have done within the last year. And then going back, to President Obama, what he did within his campaign, like really understanding what was going on, why he moved like this way, and going back to when the Clintons and the Bushes was in the office. So you're right. At least for me, I can take hold myself accountable. I definitely educated myself a lot this election, and it opened my eyes to a lot of just different things that I was not aware of. Because I feel like for me personally, the last three elections, four times I've been able to vote. I've just been going one-sided just off of what I was taught from my family, not really educating myself. So for me, that's important to me now to really educate and understand, all right, whoever I vote for, either way, I'm really voting for them because I am voting for somebody that I feel represents some of the things that I would like to see, because you never get 100% of everything you want to see. But of course, some of the things that, I represent and I would like to see within not only my community as a culture and personally too as well. So I said that all to say, good people, educate yourself. Know this information for yourself. I think that's one of the biggest problems we've been having as a culture for too long. Educate yourself. You tuned into the Fixx. We appreciate y'all. Look, we're gonna go to a music break. We still got Pastor Deitrick Haddon coming, about to hop on soon. But we're gonna go to a music break right now. Let's play some Deitrick Haddon. Let's play Gorilla Faith featuring Zaytoven. You tuned into the Fixx.
The Fixx is in. Yes, sir.
Zay, I think it's time to do it again. Yeah. Gorilla Faith.
I've been telling mountain move, get out my way. I've been knocking down demons like a heavyweight. The roar of the lion, Judah, boom, baby. I'm talking real big, yeah. I got gorilla faith. Even if I fall, I'll never hit the ground. I'm so high, you can never bring me down. And even if my enemies surround me, I'm not afraid. I ain't the mustard seeds. I got gorilla faith. 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 gorilla face. I got gorilla face. I got gorilla face. I got gorilla face. I never thought I would fall, but I keep coming back. Hit you with the left hook, and I'ma keep fighting back. And you can't find nobody that's realer, cause I got faith like a gorilla. My faith is super strong, stronger than crazy glue. And you keep amazing me, that's why I keep praising you. And I just be getting stronger, and life has been getting harder. The MJ of gospel, I moonwalk on the water. I've been telling mountains move, get out my way. I've been knocking down demons like a heavyweight. The roar of a lion, Judah, boom, babe. I'm talking real big, yeah. I got gorilla faith. Even if I fall, I'll never kiss the ground. I'm so high, you can never bring me down. And even if my enemies surround me, I'm not afraid. I ain't the mustard seed. I got gorilla faith. 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 I've been changing this game. I've been doing it for a minute. While you're out here talking, we get out here living. We get out in them streets. We been saving them souls. You ain't about that life, but if you want, let's go. I was beating my fist on my chest as I was making the sound. Gorilla faith. Yeah, boy, I'm a King Kong. I sing songs, I win some. 50,000, I'll slay them whole. With the power of the Holy Ghost, increase the faith, my only goal. Oh, I got gorilla faith. 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 I got gorilla faith.
I'm having faith for real. I'm having faith. Got a meal on my plate for real. So I say my grace. Plus I know the enemy work. So I gotta pray. I need flavor pack. I gotta get thanks. Gotta get thanks to the Most High. I'm going to heaven when I die. Got an angel with me, we gon' pop out. Holy go flow, what you talking about? Shout out to Angela Robert. She a big dog that my mom. Just wanna tell her I love her. I give them praise cause I love her. Amen.
I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith. I got gorilla faith.
Back into the Fixx, your source for faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. Just played that Gorilla Faith from Pastor Deitrick Haddon, and we are getting ready. He should be hopping on real soon. We're getting him on the line. Definitely looking forward to this great interview. So yeah, just in CHH, some little CHH news. I got a chance to watch Lecrae. Lecrae's actually been doing like these little Instagram little stories where he's been connecting with like people in his circle, and he had T.I. on yesterday. Yeah, it was pretty interesting to see Deitrick Haddon, Lecrae and T.I. on talking a little bit about everything that's going on in the culture in Atlanta.
Wait.
Are you there? Are you there, Pastor?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? What's up, everybody?
How you doing, sir?
What's going on? Listen. We're gonna try to do somewhat of a little great introduction for you, man. This man has been doing things for the kingdom for a long time, pastoring, putting out good quality gospel music, acting, the mover and a shaker within his community. Listen, Fixx, let's welcome in Pastor Deitrick Haddon to the show.
Hello, how are
doing,
you,
sir?
bud?
What's good? What's good, everybody? Bless y'all. Bless y'all.
You
Thanks
too,
for having me.
With the Miami vibe, you look like
Yeah.
I'm in Cali.
California. Right. But you still got that Miami vibe. It look like you just, doing your thing. But you always been doing that for a long time. So we appreciate you taking time out to interview with us. So yes, first off, can you at least share a little bit of your faith story and just the impact you've had as far as growing up as a preacher's kid?
My faith story. Well, yeah, my dad was a bishop. My mother is a prophetess, so you know how my house was. Church all day, every day. I had to sneak to listen to some R&B music, some R&B records, which was I hated because we loved Stevie Wonder back then, the Al Greens, but every chance we got a chance to get away, we were able to listen to all the other music. And so, but yeah, it was in my house. It was Shirley Caesar. It was Andre Crouch, it was Rance Allen, and it was gospel, And so I really believe, and I fell in love with gospel because all my mother would listen to, taking us to school and from school, was Andre Crouch and Rance Allen on the 8-track. Y'all don't know about the 8-track. 8-track is before cassette tapes and all that, But they had these big 8-track tapes that you put in the car. It was crazy. But that's how I learned how to sing, listening to Andre Crouch and Rance Allen going to school and coming home from school. So yeah, I preached my first sermon when I was 11 years old at my church. The crazy thing is, I was in my bedroom one day and I feel like the Lord spoke to me and told me, you got to sing and preach and you're going to go around the world. I was 10 years old.
Wow.
When I heard that, and when I heard it, I ran and told my mother in the next room. I said, God spoke to me. She said, oh yeah? So you can't tell a spiritual praying mother that God spoke to you. Because she's going to say, oh, what did he say? You better do it right now. You better do it. And so the next week, I found myself in front of a packed church preaching and never really studied, never knew what I was talking about. I was up before, it was a Sunday night, packed to capacity, and I was preaching. Everybody came to see little Deitrick Haddon preach his first sermon. And I sang a song first, and people went crazy. I sang a song. Then it was time for me to preach. And I promise you, I lost everything. My mind went blank in front of a packed house. And to this day, I don't know how I got off that platform. They must have carried me off that platform. But yeah, I'm long-winded. Y'all got to stop me when you want to.
No, you're dropping your story. Go ahead.
I'm a preacher, so we close like 20 times. But yeah, man. And so that was that story. But then I was the choir director of my church, the minister of music of my church when I was 13 years old. See, being a PK, you get a chance to have those opportunities. You want to direct the choir? Do it next week. You want to preach? Do it next week.
Yeah.
But I was doing everything that I was gifted to do. So that was a beautiful thing. I was called to preach. I had to learn some things, had to learn the word. And I was called to sing and entertain. And I can say that I was developed and trained early. I was responsible for about 75 to 100 adults when I was 13 years old because I was so gifted to teach parts. So all I had to do was teach the parts. I didn't have to deal with the folks. Because a lot of people was mad at me and jealous of me because I had the opportunity to do it because my father was the pastor. And when my father, the pastor, I could do it. Right. Yeah. But yeah, so I learned how to kind of maneuver and entertain, but accommodate a crowd of young and old. And see, that's the beauty of being able to sing at a church and be the choir director or be a part of the praise team or leader of the praise team. Because one Sunday the mothers would be like, y'all singing too much of them new songs. I don't even know that song. Y'all, who is Hezekiah Walker? I'm like, who is Hezekiah Walker? Everybody knows that. You need to sing some good old James Cleveland, Peace Be Still. Can you teach the choir that? And so I learned, okay, I got everybody here. So I need to do some Amazing Grace, Peace Be Still, James Cleveland, some good old, then I'll do the John P. Keys and the Hezekiah Walker. So I learned how to have a balanced perspective. And that's followed me all my life, even with putting my records together now. It's like, you can't just think about one group. If you're trying to reach everybody, if you're trying to minister to everybody, You can't just lean towards all in one direction. So if you listen to all, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
So if you listen to all my records, it's a balanced perspective, you know? And so it'll be a little bit of here, a little bit of soul in there, a little bit contemporary gospel, a little bit of edgy R&B-ish hip hop, you know, because my mind is I'm singing to the church, and that's everybody. That's the kid on the pew, kid in the back chewing gum that don't want to listen to the preacher. That's the mother on the front row that's connected and ready, you know. That's somebody who don't want to, they would drag the church. They really didn't want to be there, but they're there. If you approach your putting the records together that way, you will reach everybody. And so at my concerts today, I have a very broad demographic of people coming to support my music.
Yeah. So you talk a lot about, you know, just how you taught other folks the music and what it's done for other people. What has your music done for you? Darius James was one of my favorite pastors, and he always talks about how sometimes your gift has to save you or minister to you. So how does your music minister to you, and what ways, and maybe one time in your life where a song kind of really was more for you than it was for us?
Let me tell you the truth.
Okay.
All my music ministers to me first. I will not put it out there and give it to you if I don't believe that it can bless you and encourage you. It got to encourage me first. Here's the truth of the matter. I'm gonna give you facts. I record at least about 50 records, 50 songs each album. Period.
That's a lot of music.
That's a lot of music.
That's a lot of music.
I just go. And if it don't touch me, to have me crying or have me feeling some type of way and what I need to feel, it don't even get out my door. It don't get past my wife. It won't get past nobody because it don't touch me. So every song, from whether it's Sinner's Prayer, whether it's I remember when I wrote that song, whether it's Well Done, whether it's He's Able, whatever it is, it gotta hit me, or else it won't even get to you.
Wow.
So those songs, I can go back now and listen to my music and just start crying and just because I remember the moment.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, when something hit me or the feeling I had, it made me feel, you know. And so, yeah, it touches me. A lot of people say, Deitrick, you listen to your own music? I say, yes, because God gave me these songs. And this one album, I did a lot of albums, y'all. A lot of folks don't know I did a whole lot of records. A lot.
Stop it. They know your music. Stop.
Yeah, I'm like you're like the print of gospel, and people don't really want to talk about that, like just the catalog of music you have. But go ahead.
One album called Red is an album that really speaks to me. It wasn't one of those records for everybody, but it was one for me because it was a moment where I was like, I'm going through hell. And I don't care what people think. I don't care what they're talking about. These are the songs that carry me through my darkest storm. There's a song on there called Handle This. There's a song on there called Strange Land. That's how I was feeling, you know. How could I sing? How could I be excited? How could I lift somebody else up when I'm going through a strange season in my life? How could I do it? But that's what ministry is. Ministry is helping people, blessing others while you're bleeding. You got to pack yourself up and continue to help other people. And nobody cares that you're bleeding. So that Red album was for me. So that's one album. I guess there's a lot of records I can go on and on, but that Red album is my record.
No, that's good.
Go ahead.
No, that's good. So in that ministry vein, how would you describe your ministry style or your leadership style?
Oh, my leadership style is loving everybody for who they are, you know, and where they are, and creating a space where people can belong before they can even believe. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. Let me turn this.
You tuned into the Fixx.
My wife got one of those robot vacuums that just go around the house and play, and it's making too much noise.
All right.
So I believe in creating an atmosphere where people can belong before they really can believe. You know, people need a brother. They need a friend. They need somebody that can be a foundation or a pillar for them when they're going through tough times. So that's my leadership style. I love everybody. I don't care what you've done, what they say about you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here. I'm the guy that's going to restore you. People don't know I get a lot of calls from a lot of people that in high places that want to talk to me because they say, Deitrick, how do you do it? How did you? And I encourage people. I say I'm the night preacher. I encourage people by night. They call me at night.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm there to say, yeah, man, you did that. It's okay. You made mistakes. The Bible said righteous man falls 7 times. You're gonna be all right, Doc. Life goes on. Who's perfect? I find myself ministering to people like that all the time. Because for some reason in our minds, in the church, if you mess up, it's over. It's the end of the world. Because no, it's not the end of the world. There is life beyond your mistakes. You can't expect to live 80, 90, or 100 years, God give you grace, and not make mistakes. Who does that? Who in their mind thinks that you can live on this earth for that long and not make mistakes, monumental mistakes? It's gonna happen. If you keep living, it's gonna happen. And anybody who talk down to people who make those mistakes, they're hypocrites. They're Pharisees and Sadducees. They know they got their issues. And if they haven't experienced it yet, keep living. You got a whole lot of life to live if God blesses you. And you're gonna experience some things that you're not so happy about yourself.
Yeah.
But that's what ministry is again. I mean, Jesus didn't call the disciples because they were perfect. He just said, you come on with me, Peter, you're perfect. Come on, Matthew, you perfect. Judas, you got everything together. You, come on, y'all perfect people, y'all rock with me. No. It don't work like that. They had to walk with Jesus to get to where they were. Before they were apostles, they were killers. Before Paul was an apostle, he was killing people. Before Moses was a deliverer, pardon the Red Sea and all this stuff, he killed a man. I mean, all kind of stuff. You go all the way down through it. David was an adulterer, killed a man for his wife, had a baby with. I mean, had all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the bigger picture is there is something in you that's still worth using. There's something in you, God said, that's still worth me calling you. Because watch this, God knew what you would do before he called you.
Right.
But he still thought it was important to call you. Yeah, y'all gotta stop me if I'm talking too long.
Look.
No, you dropping gems. We gonna stop you when you drop the gems. Drop
Right. We enjoy the nuggets, the listeners, and we hope they're grabbing them. So who were some of the people that put that in you? Like who or continue to encourage that to you throughout your life, throughout your pitfalls and mistakes and things like that? Who are some of the hidden figures in your life that kind of really created a net for you and caught you in those times?
Oh, that's a really good question because I come from a very religious background, Pentecostal, apostolic background. And you don't get a lot of support like that when they do more, the way they support, they say, they judge you. They say, see what you did? See? I told you should have done everything right. I told you so. So you don't get a lot of support from that community. God has strategically placed people in my life to pull me out of that mindset and to be a net for me. It's strategic people like my mother-in-law. She's passed away, Dominique's mother, Faye. When I was going through the toughest time, and I really couldn't get the peace I needed from the church or the restoration. I'm sorry, from the church, somebody's calling me. Let me try to. I got it from certain people that helped me through it. So I believe that I was able to form my own mindset of moving past things myself through the help of the Lord by going through that. by going through one of the toughest times and not having anybody to really hold my hand through it. It's like you're on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a lot of support from my gospel peers. I didn't get it. They say, he on his own. Let's see how he make it out of this. He's always been a rebel, so that's what you get. You know?
He's always been a rebel. Yeah.
You know,
how did that make you feel though, Pastor Haddon? Like you said, you came up with a lot of, people within the gospel, realm music-wise. And like you say, when you were going through your trial times, how did that make you feel that you couldn't even confine in, people you kind of, came up with?
Oh, at first it hit me hard. At first I was like, I can't believe even people that know who I am. My songs have blessed you.
Yeah.
You know my heart by listening to my lyrics and I've written all those songs. That's me. It's the same guy who said, stand still and know he's God. The same guy who said, well done, he's able. I ain't changed. The same guy. But now you don't know me because you found out that I have some flaws.
Yeah.
So it was a big wake-up call. It was a wake-up call. First it felt bad, and then after a few days, I'm like, hold on now. I'm still alive. I'm learning from all this. Let me look up and see. Let me see who's really for me. It's when you're down on the ground is when you can see who's really got your back. Let me see who's stepping over me and see who's stopping to see about me. So I learned a whole lot. So and I came out stronger than ever. Now I don't need all that. You can love me or hate me. I had to learn though. I had to learn the hard way. But now your opinions don't shake me. It don't affect me at all. I know what that's about. I don't read the hype about who Deitrick is, what Deitrick has done. People will praise you today and run you down tomorrow. You will be trending.
That's true.
Yeah.
They will be so quick to trend on something negative about you than something good. When I started looking and seeing, when I post something, right? Have you ever watched this where you post something that's good, some accomplishment that you've done? Like something that people should celebrate you on. It seems like that's a trend. That should go viral. I mean, it's crickets. Ain't nobody saying nothing.
Wow.
You hear me? They ain't got nothing to repost. Ain't no reposting. Ain't nobody saying congratulations, Deitrick. I mean, they're going about their business. But let some mess or something, some mistake or something you've done come out. Oh, that thing is going viral. They're gonna talk about it. You're gonna be the talk at the dinner table. You're gonna be the talk of the Sunday service. They're gonna run you down, and that should be a lesson learned right there.
Yeah,
it's all fake.
That leads to my question in regards to the reality show, The Preachers of LA. Like it was a big thing when you hear about it, but they didn't talk about the notoriety it should have got, or like what made you choose that reality show or to be on a reality show?
Man, I don't believe I chose it. I believe God chose it for me. He chose it, yeah. Because when I got that show, I was going through that season I'm telling you guys about, where people were shutting me down. They say, okay, we ain't gonna have them on our churches and our concerts here. I don't care if you got a hit song. We ain't doing Deitrick right now. We got to figure that out. But while y'all trying to figure it out, God opened a whole new door for me to increase my finances, to take me to and make you have to watch me every day, every week, whether you like me or not.
They was watching
you had to hear.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about that show is I was able to tell my story. You couldn't create your own narrative. If you wanted to, after you heard from the horse's mouth, that's on you. But God fixed it where Deitrick, don't worry about it. I know I allowed you to go through this. When I called you when you was 10 years old, I didn't tell you would go through this years later. You're learning the lesson, but let me show you that I got your back. Yeah. Folks is talking about you, gonna have to watch you every week. And I'm gonna give you another show. And you're gonna be the executive producer of that show. You're gonna make money. So while they're talking, Deitrick made more money than he ever made in his whole gospel career off one show.
Well,
and that's that, folks. That's that. It ain't nothing else to talk about. Next.
I'm trying to tell you.
And then those same people talked about like end up bringing your name back up in regards to your album with Zaytoven. your Christmas album, Beethoven.
Yeah.
So like that was another thing. It was a big deal regarding the "Make Love on Christmas" song. Like talk
Make
about
love on Christmas. I love that song.
Hey, listen, I've been waiting to ask you this. So why did you choose to put that on the Christmas album? I really want to hear why did you choose that song on the Christmas album?
I think it's important. I think it's important to make love on Christmas. If you're married, you have the right. The Bible says the marriage bed is undefiled. You'd be surprised how many church folk, they ain't making love. They mad at each other. They quote the scriptures, but they cold. They ain't got no love in the house. Trust me. They look at you, quote scriptures and speak in tongues. I know. I come from that world. I know what's up. I know your marriage is on the rocks. You're about to divorce. We need music that will steam up the house. We need it. For so long, we said, oh, that's of the devil. It don't have Jesus in it in every lyric. But let me tell you something. God created love.
Yeah.
God created sex. God created sex. There's nothing wrong about having sex. And the fact that people had something to say, I would look at anybody that has something to say, I would say, you hypocrite. You ain't nothing. Your words are exposing who you are.
Yeah.
Because when you get done prophesying, preaching, judging, casting out devils, whatever you're doing, you're going to make love to your wife. Or to whatever you're doing. I don't know what side you're on. Whatever you're doing.
Hey. That's real though.
Whatever it is, you're going to do it because it's something that God put in you. And if you're doing it the right way, it should be in marriage, then God bless you. Play your music. Play your R&B music. Pull out some Joe, some old school Joe. Pull out some Jodeci. I'm Jodeci. Pull it out. Because there's a time and place for everything. And that's why I did it. And you know the reason why I did it? Because I believe you should make love on Christmas. On a sacred day. It should be about love. I believe Christians should have more love music, more love making music. I believe it.
Thank you.
You looking at a guy who divorced. I divorced. I was married and I divorced. You know what I'm saying? There was something missing. But nobody want to talk about it. Nobody want to talk about it. Just keep on going and Jesus will take care of everything. No. Yeah. You learn your lessons. Jesus is trying to teach you a lesson. So it won't happen again. Now, my household is hot up in here. Come on. What I've learned from my past. We don't have no cold seasons up in here.
No, that's right.
Because we love each other. And we don't let religion to get in the way of how we feel about each other.
Oh, wow, whoa, right there. That was right there for me, real quick, because I'm in this 2020 dating world. I know some sisters on here that's real single and wanting marriage, and some fellas that's like, can we stop right there? What advice would you give us young folks, older folks, whoever, on just how to begin to have a relationship? Here we go. Scenario. Dating someone, trying to keep religious principles, spiritual principles, God principles, biblical principles, but also still remain fun and exciting. So for single folks getting ready to be married, for folks that's married, how do you still honor God and have fun? Like how do you do that? Because I think there's some guilt for some folks like that, because we grew up in the church where sex was nasty and disgusting, and music was whatever. So like how do we still have fun but honor God in our relationships?
I think when you love somebody, you're honoring God, period. When you find somebody that you like and you really love and you're willing to make that step with them, you're honoring God. See, we make the mistake of making religion or putting our faith before our love. You don't put faith before love. I was at the airport in Texas, ran into a Indian lady. Well, she ran up to me. I'm sitting there eating breakfast, waiting on my next flight. And she said, I got all your records. She scrolled down her phone and said, look at this. I got this one. I got that one. I was like, you've been following me. She said, yes. She said, but I couldn't help but to notice she had the thing on her head. And I said, okay, what do you believe? She said, I'm Hindu. She said, I pray. I said, that means you pray to 100 different gods, right? She said, yes. She said, but guess what? You wouldn't believe this. She said, my husband is Catholic. He prays Hail Mary. Wow. And I was like, How does that work out in your? She said, it works out because we love each other. She said, our faith, she said, I let him be a Catholic and he let me do what I'm doing. That don't have what we believe in, don't have nothing to do with each other, how we love each other. Mm-hmm. And see, we misinterpreted how to walk together except they agree. You don't have to agree on every single thing. Long as you agree that I love you no matter what. That's what you need to agree on. And where there is love, that's where God is. See, and we make the mistake of we quote scriptures on our spouse's head, and just everything they do is we judging. It ain't go by the book. It ain't go, the scripture. You don't do that to somebody. You don't beat somebody over the head with your knowledge. It'll turn people off. You let people grow into who they are, who they're becoming, even in your marriage. Now, if you got somebody that's super religious and they can't have a regular conversation with you, they can't settle down and relax, have a nice little drink of wine and enjoy each other, then I say you better I don't know if you should go down that block, because it's going to be torment in your marriage. Torment. I think love is the glue that you should look for love. Do I love this person? Does this person love me? Do they prove to me that they love me? Even when I'm not doing what they think I ought to do. Even if I don't necessarily 100% agree with everything that they're talking about.
That's good.
Do I have a voice in this relationship?
You know, that's so good. You dropping so many gems, Pastor. Can you speak a little bit to church hurt? I think, especially while you in this vein, before we get to talk about music, I think church hurt, especially when you talk about millennials before the pandemic started, you know, leaving the church and just people in general experiencing, like you say, so much judgment within the church and people not really walking with people and helping people to get back on track. Speak a little bit about church hurt from your personal experience.
I think church hurt is a real thing. It's not a hoax. It's a real thing. A lot of people have been damaged. A lot of people have left the church in droves because you've had people in charge at churches that don't have compassion for people. There's no way in the world, because you got a microphone, you can just handle and say what you want to say over that microphone. It's crazy. You don't use the microphone for a weapon to attack people. People don't have to go to your church.
That's good.
I never understood how somebody could get up there and do that, because it's 20 churches down the same block.
Yeah.
And if somebody's sitting there taking your abuse, it's because there's something in them that says, I love you and I want to hear from you, but I don't want you to abuse me and hurt me. And so a lot of people have been hurt. But on the flip side, here we go. On the flip side, when you talk about church hurt, we don't talk about how the pastor's been hurt too by church folk. Pastor and the first lady have been damaged by people who didn't really have their agenda. If you don't say all the right things, they will run you down. I can tell you for a fact, I've never knowingly hurt anybody in my ministry, knowingly or purposefully. You know, said I'm gonna hurt. No. But I know I've been hurt on purpose by other people.
Yeah.
But nobody want to talk about that, because it's not easy dealing with people. It's not easy. Sometimes it's hard to keep your composure when people are cutting up and acting a fool. I've seen a few Instagram posts with the pastor cussing everybody out. And pastors are mad now because they say, we tired of taking abuse now.
Yeah.
Y'all talking about church hurt. What about me? So everybody cussing now. They say,
yeah,
all the preachers, you know. So church hurt is real on both sides. I think everybody should take responsibility. I believe we can heal from it if we all say, okay, you know, we got to do better. I can't say what I want to say. I can't do what I want to do because I'm the pastor. And then you can't do what you want to do to me and say what you want to say to me because you pay tithes here to this church.
That's good.
We all got to have respect, mutual respect for each other. And we can move on and be healed and go home.
That's it.
That leads to a question I want to ask. Like, how do you balance the needs for your family and your congregation? Because if you kind of throw it too much to the congregation, it kind of throws your family off. Too much to family kind of throws congregation off. Like, how do you balance that?
My family is first. That's my first church. That's number one. My wife is first. My family. What's going on over here? If I can't get this right in here, you can't pastor nobody and preach to nobody. How you gonna preach to somebody in your hell? There's hell in your house. So the first order of business is making sure your family is intact. The kids are being educated. They're doing well in school. They're doing their homework. They got everything. Then you go and handle church business. That's your extended family. Your church family is your extended family. So when I make sure my home front is taken care of, then I start thinking about, okay, what's happening with brother so and so, sister so and so, what we got to do with the church. So that's how I do it, and I don't let anybody make me feel bad about that. You know, I lived in a household with the church. Oh, no disrespect to my dad. I love him dearly. He did the best he could do. He did the best he could do. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm running my dad down, but he was church. That's it. Get dressed, you're going to church. We were like, hold on, man. I got homework. I'm flunking out of school. You talking about church? Come on, man. You know, and mama upset over here. Come on, and you're making us go to church. So I don't do that in my house.
Yeah.
I don't do that in my house. I'm not going to force my kids to go to church at all. I want them to fall in love with God for themselves. You know, I don't deprive them of listening to music as long as it's not something degrading or disrespectful and taking them down another path. They listen to a wide range of music. Just keeping a balanced life. You know, what I experienced in my upbringing, I want to make sure I don't bring that in my house. And sometimes you can find yourself going down that path. And I say, hold on, I can't do that. You know, I can't bring that up in 2020 in my house. So
no, that's so good. And Rico, I'm sure you had it or it's coming, but it's Mental Health Day.
Wow.
And I saw a post that was like, if you didn't come from a good loving family, make sure one comes from you. And so just how have you like just balanced your mental health with everything that you go through, you know, ministry wise, family wise, and make sure that some of those things, like you said, don't go on to your children, those things that you experienced as a child that weren't necessarily positive. So just what do you do for your mental health?
You know, anything that's taken to extreme can be a problem. That could be a reflection of mental health issues. When somebody go too far in anything. If you find yourself where you can't have a conversation with somebody because you're so religious and you quoting scriptures, that something's wrong. Something's off balance. There's a scripture that says a false balance is an abomination to God. So you got to always have a balanced mindset, you know? And even Jesus had a balanced mindset. He just didn't quote scriptures at the disciples. He had regular conversations. He spoke in parables so they could understand it. He wouldn't beat them over the head with religion and quoting scriptures and things like that. I believe a lot of church people deal with mental health, but they use church and scriptures to cover it up. How in the world? Yeah. A lot of people dealt with a lot of religious abuse in their households. Daughters, mothers were too super religious and made them wear certain things and go to, it's just too much. It reminded me of that movie. Y'all remember that old scary movie back in the day, Carrie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That movie scared the daylights out of me back in the day because I was like, this is borderline. Our house is borderline. Super religious like that. And I used to be like, Mama, don't go too far. You seen this movie Carrie, right? Y'all going too far. But you gotta have balance. And what I do is I think it's about, hearing everybody out, listening, learning, not being overbearing with how you feel, giving people the space to have their own perspective. You manage your own. There's a lot. I got a lot going on in my life. I'm producing a little film here and making music over there and doing the church right here, my family over here. I just believe in laying it all out in front of me and compartmentalizing everything, right? Mm-hmm. So I can have a balanced perspective and give each situation attention, a little bit of my mind. Bam, you get a little piece of this today. You get a little piece of this today, piece of that, get a piece of that. But the majority of it goes back to me so I can make sure I'm healthy. Because if you're not healthy, you can't be a blessing to all these other components. So the first order of business is making sure you're centered, you're focused, your mind, you're thinking correctly. You got it. You have a well-balanced perspective on everything. Make sure inside of you is all in order. So I really believe in that. So I take the time to center myself. A lot of times a good thing to center yourself is just to go for a walk, eat the right things. Because what you eat can affect your thinking.
That's good.
A lot of mental health comes from the stuff you put in
you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you got to eat right, get the proper exercise, get some oxygen to the brain, breathe, get out of the house and inhale and exhale. And then once you get that, what you need, then you're ready to go at it. Boom, bam, bam, bam. You got this, bam. You be like, man, I killed it today. I'm on it. Then once you're done, you go back to you. Whatever makes you happy. Listen to your music, wind down, relax, and just keep doing that. And you look up, man, you see that everything is healthy around you. You know what I'm saying? Everything is balanced and it's good to go.
Well, that's where your glow come from then. And I know, Focus, we got to get ready to get him up out of here.
Yeah. Last thing, we definitely got to just talk to you. Definitely want to congrats you for the Grammy consideration for your track "I Can't Breathe." Can you talk a little bit about that, the inspiration behind making the track, and of course, in these trying times when we talk about social injustice and everything that's going on, just speak a little bit to that from a pastor's perspective too as well.
Well, I mean, we all sat back and watched that post when we woke up to that post where George Floyd was being murdered in broad daylight at the knee of a law officer. That was the most appalling thing that I think I've ever seen in real time, like for real. Like I thought it was like, is this a movie? This man is still on this man's neck. What is going on? Like he's screaming for his life. Then he screamed until he couldn't scream no more. Then he went silent. You killed that man in front of everybody. We all felt some type of way. We all felt like, man, what would I have done if I was there? Like, would I have drop kicked the guy and just got him off of him? And what could I have done? The man was screaming, saying, hey, get off of him. And the guy wouldn't listen. He was smiling. It was something straight out of a movie. And we all seen it, and we all felt some type of way, and we all felt that hopelessness for that 8 minutes, I think 8 minutes and 40 something seconds.
Yep.
And that's where the song was birthed, man. That melody came. I just said, man, I don't know what to do. I can't breathe. I sat on this piano right here and wrote it. And on Sundays, my good friend, one of my closest friends, Mickey Stevenson. Mickey Stevenson is the first A&R rep for Motown Records. He helped to establish Motown Records at the beginning. And so he found Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. He was the A&R guy who brought them to the label. So he comes to my house and we have cookouts. We put some links on the grill and, and relax and listen to music and talk about. I get to hear all them good old Motown stories. I mean, I hear the stuff don't nobody know. I know all the real stuff, right? I'm a big fan of Marvin Gaye. Huge fan of that soulful energy. And he came in and I said, man, you got to hear this. I sat on this piano and said, I can't breathe. Hands choking me out. He went to crying. He said, man, you need to say this. 400 years of slavery, clinging to a dream. When will reparations come? I said, and we wrote that song together. He helped me complete it. Wow. And so I would say, like back in the day, like the Marvin Gayes, they wrote songs like "What's Going On."
Yeah.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. They were looking at what was going on like we did, and they wrote the soundtrack to the moment, to the era and the time. And I believe "I Can't Breathe" is one of those songs and those melodies God gave me to speak to the soundtrack of the moment and the time.
Pastor Deitrick Haddon, ladies and gentlemen.
Grammy nominated.
Grammy nominated. Can you tell me?
Well, y'all pray for that. Pray for that.
Yes,
y'all
sir.
pray that we get that consideration. This is the first level of it, where the Grammy committee, they consider you, so they have to vote for you to get the official. Thing off and pray for the voters will hear the song and be like, this is a special song.
It's already done.
It's already done. Can you tell the people how they can connect with you, Deitrick Haddon, and how they can follow you and how to stream your music and all that good stuff? Absolutely.
Oh, I said I hang out on IG. That's where you can find me. I'm on IG with the blue check there. It's D Haddy, DHADDY. And on Facebook, you can't miss me. I'm all over there. Right now, I'm trying to get LeBron his fourth ring. That's what I'm trying to get him.
Hey,
Listen. We from Cleveland, Ohio, so you know we're a little sensitive about that, Pastor. Look, listen, Pastor. We loan them to you. You know what I'm saying? We loan them to you.
I'm a LeBron fan, man. I'm a huge LeBron fan. No matter what team if he's playing for Cleveland, I was with y'all. Now I'm from Detroit, so I'm really a Piston by blood, you know. But they don't know how to pick the right talent. Since Chauncey Billups and all them left, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
When they get the good talent, I'm back. I'm a Piston again. But I'm more of a player fan than a franchise fan. Because I really don't like the Cleveland system. I don't like the franchise. I don't like the owner. I don't like the way his mindset. I don't like none of that.
Yeah.
But LeBron,
almost gave me a heart
when
attack.
he was playing for y'all, I'm Cleveland. Then when he went to Miami, I'm Miami. Now he's with the Lakers. I'm with the Lakers. You know? And so it is what it is.
That's hilarious. Well, we appreciate you so much. It was so many nuggets you dropped, and we can't wait to see you get your Grammy for your song. And we're praying for you, brother. We appreciate you so much for coming on.
It's been
Thank
an
you
honor
so
to
much.
have you here, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely honor. Pastor Deitrick Haddon. Listen, we're going to a music break and we'll be right back. You're tuned into The Fixx.
Thanks for having me, y'all. Love y'all.
Take care.
You, sir.
Peace.
Carry me, keep my eyes when I can't see. Lord, in you I am complete. Giving you every part of me, soul, mind, and my body. Put me back together, piece by piece. Lord, in you I am complete. Sing with me now. Nobody else in the world can compare to you. You complete me. Complete. Give you every part of me, soul, mind, and my body. Put me back together, piece by piece. In you I am complete. Oh, nobody else in the world can compare to you. You complete me. Yes, you complete me. Nobody in this world can compare to you. Piece by piece, in you I am complete.